evening to interview a candidate for the ZBA, and we took no actions. So we'll move on to publicly heard.
I thought you were good.
Oh, no, you know what? Thank you, Jay.
We need to open the meeting. Just open. We'll open.
Oh, we opened it earlier.
Oh,
Pledge
you
the
got
flag.
it. Yes, you did. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay,
All this time.
now publicly heard.
Oh, I have it right.
Do we have any public?
We do.
that want to be heard?
Starting with Iris, 2 minutes, Iris.
Okay, another comment on the zoning packet, and you all got my...
Yes, I did.
Is this in addition to?
No, but I'd like to just...
Oh,
point
okay,
out-
yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
So I don't have to take notes though, so.
No.
Now your 2 minutes starts.
Okay, thank you. This was in the selected new and updated special permit supplemental standards, so the SUP section, and then there's a subsection J that says cultural facility. So these are things that apply to, or not apply, some restrictions on the cultural facility, library, art gallery, museum. And there was one down here, number 7, that talked about retail sales in relation to cultural facility. And it was talking about the interior floor area, certain square footage. But the second sentence is what caught my eye. And it says, no outdoor display or sales shall be permitted. Now, we have sidewalk sales twice a year. And that would mean that any art gallery would not be able to, such as the Lamb, who has a gift shop, would not be able to participate, the way I read it, would not be able to participate
In that.
in a sidewalk sale because it says no outdoor display or sales shall be
Well,
permitted.
let me ask you something, Iris, just because I had troubles with that section too. Is that talking about all sales or?
Yeah, that's the way I read it, and it's just under cultural facilities, so library, art gallery, museum, etc. Provided that, and...
But I thought it had to do with incidental sales, maybe not. There was some section that talked about incidental
Yeah, I
sales.
think I remember seeing that too.
They broke it out because
But
we're
I don't know
talking,
what that would be considered, but I wanted to bring it up as
Okay.
something to look at, because we certainly wouldn't want to prohibit the Lamb from doing some sales.
that whole
Sidewalk
section got read inked by me, that there was some wording in there that we just wanted to
Yeah, so,
clarify.
you know, just alert you on that one.
I think that the et cetera is an important thing to spell out.
You don't want just to say et cetera, so
Yeah.
say exactly.
Well, that has been there, because that was not changed, so.
What, I'm sorry?
That part of the law was not changed, because that's in black, so et cetera seems to have been there.
Well,
So, I mean, but you, if you want to make that
since we're
change.
talking
But
about
we
the
could do
whole
it,
package.
something in there that says, you know, if it's a town-wide sale, that it would be permitted by, you know.
Maybe some,
There was also a few other things that were specifically targeted to the cultural facilities that were not targeted to other SUPs. And I asked Jeremy, you know, why that difference was, and we didn't get an answer back from him.
yeah, so anyway, just wanted to bring it up.
Randy Steele?
Jay, hi. Jay, about sometime last year, you pushed the town board, and I think rightfully, to establish Woodstock as a drone-free zone. And in the interim, we've now found ourselves in the middle of a heroin and opioid scourge that I believe is being misused by the police in order to further create a crackdown and a totalitarian anti-Fourth Amendment society. The most recent and obvious example of this is now the Hudson Valley is this hub of opioid drug activity, and among the proposals for this, the police, including the Ulster County Sheriff, want to start using drones to look at everybody's property from the air to be able to see what if they're growing anything back there. I don't think that opium poppies grow in this part of the world. And I think that this drug epidemic, the people like the Route 212 Coalition are to be commended for their works, but they endorse harm reduction. Anybody that's truly concerned about this scourge endorses harm reduction, which includes decriminalization of marijuana. And all of this police stuff that's going on now, taking advantage of it, including the town board in the dead of night passing another year upping with urgent, which is just a very corrupt means of getting 10% of what the police take and keep for themselves without the Fourth Amendment provision of specifying the goods or whatever, or the material to be seized.
Without due process.
Without due process. I'm asking you if you will go back to your original positions on drones to make sure that Woodstock is a drone-free zone, especially when it comes to this police enforcement, that we will find that all of this heroin was being flooded in by government officials and not allow Woodstock to be a part of the police state.
Thank you, Randy.
John Ludwig?
I've been in touch with Bob Freeman of the Committee on Open Government, and I've always wanted to go to one of his events.
They're
I
pretty
asked-
good.
Have you?
I've
been? Yeah.
attended quite a few of his.
I asked him if he'd be interested in coming to Woodstock. He said yes, he would. And so I'm proposing that, I mean, I would take care of scheduling and advertising and things like that, but he would perhaps leave an invitation. Would the town board be interested in putting an invitation to him?
This would be for a public,
It would be open to the public, yeah. The Mid-Hudson Library System is having one also in March. Theirs is not open to the public. Theirs is for trustees. I would advertise it as, you know, come and learn. Yeah.
I think it's a great idea, but there are so many people in the public that have misapprehensions about what we do and don't do, and I think having an expert come into town
Good.
would be
Good, so
wonderful.
I'll be in touch then. Like I say, he's already said he'd love to do it, so it's just a matter of
We can set a date.
communication. Yeah.
I'd rather not do it at a town board meeting, I'd rather do it at a
Yeah.
public forum.
Yeah, I
as
would
opposed
think it
to-
would be.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
do it in
We
the
could
day
do it
or
at the
something
community
like that,
center.
yeah. Or not, it doesn't matter, yeah, not a town board night.
I'm trying to think up the right day and time, but that's
Just let me know, because either the town hall or the community center would be more ideal, but if we
Yeah.
can't get it.
That's what I-
So you should work with Jackie, and then, you know, we could move to waive the fee, you know, it'd be town-sponsored event, so.
Okay, good, thanks a lot.
Thank you, John.
He's a great speaker.
Yeah, he is. I've heard-
He's
I've
very
heard him
funny, too.
possess it.
He's very funny, but very serious about his job. Father John Nelson. 2 minutes, even though your hat is flat.
Did anybody else notice?
Good evening. As most of you probably know, this year will be the 10th anniversary of the Walk for Peace. And we will have the Dakota Unity Riders returning from out west on horseback. And there's some other people that have come into play with this event, some representatives of Japanese folks who are very interested in the Mayors for Peace program. We would like the town to entertain becoming a mayor for peace with Hiroshima and the 6,600 other mayors for peace worldwide. It seems to make a lot of sense. And if we could, the town already has an application for becoming a mayor for peace from Hiroshima. If we could look into filling out that application, sending it to them and see if they would accept the application from the town so that our Walk for Peace might be more coupled with the town as a more of a community event that the town government might get behind a little bit and work with us and have maybe some special presentations.
Do you have a date?
August 6th.
August 6th?
Do they, I'm not being facetious now, do they allow supervisors of peace?
Yes,
You know, because we don't have a mayor.
you're not a mayor, yes, but my thought is that Woodstock, okay, you know, being that type of place for young people, especially having that kind of persona of a peaceful kind of movement in the 60s and everything, that it could be a big catalyst and help Hiroshima in its global campaign to increase more cities as part of the Mayors for Peace program.
Who's going to be the application, John?
I gave one to Jeremy.
Jeremy, okay.
Yeah.
So I will pass that request along to him then.
Yes.
He'll be back in the office next week.
He does refer to himself every once in a while as the mayor, so he might like that.
I think we are.
Or
I
other
think
people refer to him
it
as the mayor.
would be a
Or
really
king,
great
or,
moment for Woodstock to be included.
King
I
is
think
the term.
Woodstock could really be
Or
seen
dictator.
globally. We wouldn't be influxed with tons of people, but we would be seen for who we really are and what that name really
You're
means.
going to talk to Kerry about getting on a date
For
the
commissioners?
for the safety commission?
Yes,
Okay.
I
I
will.
would do it sooner than later.
I will.
Yeah.
The next commissioners meeting, which might be in
Probably March.
March.
I would ask her for March. I'm not sure if we're doing anything in February.
Okay, I will.
It's kind of quiet right now.
Okay.
Although I did get a call from the drum boogie. I said,
Hey.
Diane Kavestik said
Diane
she will
told her.
kill you if you do it again. And
They're talking about 2 days, 2-day events.
Do you know if the mayor of Tokyo and Hamburg and other cities that were firebombed, dreadfully firebombed in World War II, are part of this?
There's 240 cities in Japan that are mayors for peace, in Japan alone. In America, the United States, I believe has, I can't really give you a good number, but it's in the hundreds at least. Cities, Akron, Baltimore, big cities are part of this program, you know. So it's a very legitimate.
I think he was referring to other European countries that were involved in the.
Yes, there are German cities that are involved in it, Japanese cities, yes. You can Google Mayors for Peace, you'll find the Japanese, the Hiroshima mayor is the president of the Mayors for Peace, and in there you'll see they list all the 6,000 cities there on their website.
Well, I will pass that along to Jeremy, and
Thank you.
you can check in with him towards the end of next week.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's it.
Announcements?
Actually, I have one. I spoke with Nina Sheldon from the Red Cross, and I guess there's a new director finally for Ulster County, a woman that she didn't know her name yet.
Okay.
And she asked me about two things. One is eventually she would like some kind of a small refrigerator for medicine for people's.
There's a big refrigerator.
I know, but they need to have a separate.
It has to be separate, can't have food.
You can't put people's medications in it. It has to be a locked up refrigerator. And I said I didn't think the cost of a small refrigerator would be a problem. It's more where we're going to put it. So let's think about where we would like to place the refrigerator, or then some kind of small thing. Maybe we could put something small on the counter during those emergencies.
You know, the other thing is there's a couple other refrigerators, like there's a small refrigerator at the town hall. There's a couple of refrigerators up at the highway. It wouldn't be problematic.
I would say to get one,
To-
then
to
to bring one there.
in
Right.
If you
on
heard
a
it's
temporary
happening.
basis.
And then the same issue with the cots. Apparently, the Red Cross is donating some cots to their shelters. And I said, we don't really have space for the cots, but we have to look into maybe another space.
Right, no, but I thought they were just gonna bring the cots in if there was a need for them.
They like to have places to
They
store
wanted to
them.
have a few, they were getting a few for free, and they wanted a place to store them. So I just thought I'd mention it, and we could kind of keep in mind where in town or what building or
So we
facility,
should go talk to Clayton and Mike Reynolds,
and put them, it's possibly the highway department or the police.
or somewhere.
They have some room over the highway department. The only reason I wouldn't say anything here, because we have it's an old building, mice get in here, the upstairs is
Yeah, no,
filled
no, I
with
didn't think
mice.
this building.
Oh, that's
But
not-
we just removed all those records out of the highway garage. I know that they were thrilled that we did remove them, and I'm sure that they've taken over that spot, but find out
they
if you
have.
find out, yeah, if you find out how much space they're actually looking for,
Yeah,
they might
Nina's
have
gonna-
something in there.
She's gonna contact me, there's going to be some type of a workshop there and a walkthrough with the new director. When she gets to that, I will go with them and find out more of the details, but I just wanted to mention that this is, something that's coming along.
Okay. The other thing is, Kathy, you had mentioned to me something about a letter, a request from the library about directional signs.
Yes.
And tomorrow I'll try and dig that letter up. Jeremy said he didn't seem to have any great concerns, but it was a while ago since he'd seen that. John, are you familiar with directional signs?
I haven't heard about it, I'm not familiar with it.
Okay.
Well,
Why don't you two see if you can...
Yeah, well, it was Dorothea who.
Yeah. Okay, so if you want
Yeah.
to deal with her, then that's fine.
Yeah, once you pull up the letter, I can read it and see.
Okay.
But Jay had a point today, I was discussing it with him, and he had a point that maybe we should look at it in a little broader scope in terms of other things and maybe work with the chamber. You can tell him.
Yeah, I had brought this request from the library back here
Mhm.
a while ago while Kathy was not functioning as liaison. And I feel that not only should there be signs, more than one, for the library around town,
Mhm.
but there ought to be some signs indicating where shopping for extra stores and that store and so forth. And therefore, we could do this in conjunction with the Chamber of Commerce. And we could also have on there, in terms of our conjunction, town offices, community center, directionals. And I think it would be very nice to have several signs around town, down at the beginning or wherever, a good place to be. And for us to work together with the chamber. That was my addition.
You know, I'm the liaison with them, and they came and talked to me about a year and a half ago. And then it
They dropped the ball.
you know, I gave them some thoughts and ideas about how we would approach it, and I didn't hear any more, so I don't know if they're, taking a different look at things, but I'll mention it to them, and
I'm
So if you,
not so
I'll mention it to them, and we can see.
sanguine about their taking looks at things.
if you get the letter, I can at least look at the letter, read it, and then see what exactly they want, and then see how it might tie in with other signage in the town.
You know what I was thinking, if you did like 3 or 4 of those signs, and they don't have to be big, but like you are here, so you only have to do one map,
With a little map.
and then
You
put it
should-
down at Bradley Meadows, put it in the parking lot, when people start to walk out of the parking lot, they can see
Exactly.
exactly where they are, maybe at the end of this parking lot, and
Right.
one maybe on the Village Green itself, for
Right.
people that are walking, and then that would, pretty much at that point, you'd have everything covered.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then you can,
Maybe it could even be where you could put little name tags on there, and then any business can put their name tag on, and with a dot or something like that.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, well, yes, something to
Yeah.
look into.
So I had an announcement from Mike Reynolds, just to let people be aware that the highway department is going to be doing tree trimming around town, in the town, the road right-of-ways. I think they're going to be dealing with a lot of the dead or dying ash trees and any dangerous trees. So if you do see them out and about, that's what they're up to. Also, the property owners are welcome to the firewood. If they do take a tree down and you want them to leave it there, they will leave it there for you. So if you see them out there cutting away and you want to burn some wood, just let them know.
Great.
So that was that.
And I have
Announcement?
This is something I'm frustrated and very angry about. And that relates to the speed bump that was in the middle of the drive, which has been removed for the winter because the highway can't plow up to the steamboat. And since it's been removed, I've noticed a great many vehicles during the daytime speeding up. I haven't seen them speeding down, but I've seen them speeding up the drive, and really fast. And, you know, we didn't have that thing removed in order for the public to go crazy again, but certainly between now and the time when it gets reinstalled, and perhaps it might be reinstalled with one or two additional ones, please, is that the strongest thing we can say? Please drive sanely. I think the speed limit on the road is 15, you know, observe it, please, because somebody's going to get hurt sooner or later.
A lot of kids, a lot of people walking dogs and whatnot.
Exactly. And please, you know, observe the speed limit. It hasn't been removed in order to allow people to speed up.
Thank you, Jack. All right, so let me move into resolutions then. Be it resolved to accept the minutes for meetings held on December 15th, 2015, December 31st, 2015, January 1st, 2016, and January 12th, 2016.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Be it resolved to accept the town clerk's report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Be it resolved to authorize transfer per transfer sheet.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Be it resolved to authorize payment of audited vouchers in the amount of $252,355.56.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Whereas pursuant to section 123 of town law, the Woodstock Town Board conducted an audit of the Woodstock Justice Court at a scheduled meeting held at the court on January 14, 2016, and whereas the Justice Court personnel made available for inspection all dockets, ledgers, canceled checks, and bank statements, and bail books for the year 2015, and whereas all said documents for the year 2015 were found to be neat, orderly, and reconciled, and whereas all questions about said records were answered to the satisfaction of the Woodstock Town Board, therefore be it resolved to declare that the 2015 audit of the Woodstock Justice Court by the Woodstock Town Board is complete, and that monies received and dispersed by the Woodstock Justice Court of the Town of Woodstock for the year 2015 is fully accounted for.
Do you want to do them all at once?
No, we'll do them one at a time.
Second.
Okay. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We might have quibbles with one or two. Whereas pursuant to section 123 of town law, on January 14, 2016, the Woodstock Town Board conducted an audit of the Woodstock Town Clerk's office at the scheduled meeting held at that office. And whereas the town clerk personnel made available for inspection all ledgers and records of cash receipts and cash disbursements, canceled checks, and bank statements for the year 2015. And whereas these financial records for the year 2015 were found to be neat, orderly, and reconciled, and whereas all questions about said records were answered to the satisfaction of the town board, therefore be it resolved to declare that the 2015 audit of the Woodstock Town Clerk by the Woodstock Town Board is complete, and that monies received and dispersed by the Woodstock Town Clerk for the town of Woodstock in 2015 is fully accounted for.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Whereas pursuant to section 123 of town law, on January 14, 2016, the Woodstock Town Board conducted an audit of the Woodstock Tax Collector's Office at a scheduled meeting held in that office. And whereas the town tax collector personnel made available for inspection all ledgers and records of cash receipts and cash disbursements, canceled checks and bank statements for the year 2015, and whereas these financial records for the year 2015 were found to be neat, orderly, and reconciled, and whereas all questions about said records were answered to the satisfaction of the Woodstock Town Board, therefore be it resolved to declare that the 2015 audit of the Woodstock tax collected by the Woodstock Town Board is complete, and that monies received and dispersed by the Woodstock tax collector for the town of Woodstock in 2015 are fully accounted for. All in favor? Aye.
Before you read the last one, nobody's got the full, so let me
No,
get
you
a
don't.
copy. Yeah, I got cut off.
Oh, you know what? Because there's a couple of resolutions missing too.
I don't have them.
That's as far as it goes?
But
Okay.
yeah, I only got it to the end. Hang on.
All right.
Find this, you've got nothing.
So, be it resolved to appoint Thomas Burke to the ZBA, term to expire 12/31/2016.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. There was another one that was not on the agenda, but I have it right here. Be it resolved for the Highway Superintendent Mike Reynolds to hire Robert Hopper as a full-time seasonal help for the Highway Department at a rate of $18.49 per hour, beginning, this should, as part-time seasonal help for the town of Woodstock, a rate of $18.49 per hour, beginning January 14, 2016.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Does he just call them in when there's a snowstorm or?
Yeah, he's just gonna come in, that's why I said part-time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we gonna get that snowstorm that's going on?
I hope not.
I hope not too. I'm happy.
I think the city's gonna get
Gonna get hit.
hit,
Okay.
so.
Okay. Good luck.
One more, and then we have two waiving fees for two different groups, but I'm gonna just double check with Jackie. Anybody have any questions while we're waiting? Killing time, Mr. Gross?
Jay, Dresden and Hamburg are both listed on Mayors for Peace.
Pardon?
Dresden and Hamburg are both listed on Mayors for Peace. I didn't see Tokyo, but I'm thinking there may be an
Thank you.
alternative spelling of Tokyo that we have.
This is the latest that I have to carry, and this is the resolution you need to read. So that's not, the other ones I don't have.
So, talk to me, because we just did two resolutions.
Oh,
We appointed Thomas.
ready to talk, okay.
And we hired Bobby Hopper as a part-time. All right, whereas pursuant to section 123 of Town Law of the Town, the Woodstock Town Board conducted an audit of the Woodstock Town Supervisor at a scheduled meeting held in Woodstock Town offices on January 14, 2016. And whereas the Town Supervisor's personnel made available for inspection all ledgers, records of cash receipts and cash disbursements, cash reconciliations, investment records, indebtedness records, property records, interim financial reports and payrolls, canceled checks, and bank statements for the year 2015. And whereas such financial records for the year 2015 were found to be neat, orderly, and reconciled, and whereas all other questions about said records were answered to the satisfaction of the Woodstock Town Board, therefore be it resolved to declare the 2015 order of the Woodstock Town Supervisor by the Woodstock Town Board is complete, and that monies received and dispersed by the Woodstock Town Supervisor for the town of Woodstock in 2015 are fully accounted for.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I just have to say, we're blessed with really wonderful employees who keep a really good record of everything they do all year long.
In all those departments.
In every place we audited, and it's so easy to follow everything. So thanks to all of them.
Second.
All in favor? So, keeper of the records,
See,
can you tell me, family, do they have a Norcanton training coming up?
28?
January 28th is a
Yeah.
training.
Okay, so, and I haven't seen anything
Were you gonna do a
official.
resolution for that?
Yes, so I'll just be it resolved that the Woodstock
Wait,
Town
please.
Board waive the fees for the family-sponsored Narcan training at the community center
Yes,
on February,
January
January
28th.
Yeah, second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so now there was a second group here. Healthcare is a human right.
Isn't that the same one?
No, this is on February 6th, I believe.
Oh, no, I don't know.
Do they have,
February, let me just grab it.
sorry.
You know,
This is something that's sponsored by Woodstock that we've waived fees for in the past.
if you watch the debate, they were speaking about the drug problem in the United States, and Hillary Clinton, I think, mentioned about Narcan and how she wanted everyone trained in carrying the proper, whatever, equipment, medicine to counteract the overdose. And I thought it was interesting that that was one of the questions that the news reporters asked at the debate. And it's not just a local problem or Ulster County, it is everywhere, for that to be one of the questions in the debate.
But it's a huge problem for a lot of very small communities, all up through Cape Cod, and I remember just devastated by it. I believe that they trained over 60 people the other night at the Woodstock Jewish congregation, and that was also sponsored by the Route 212 Coalition of Family of Woodstock.
Right.
Just so you know, the one on the 28th, sponsored by Family of Woodstock, that's from 6 to 9 at the community center.
Right.
And yes, on February 6th, Healthcare Human Rights,
Okay.
from 3 to 8.
And they're sponsored by Family as well, I believe.
Okay.
Okay, so be resolved to waive the fees for the
February 6th.
February 6th for the Healthcare is a Human Right
And-
gathering.
And who are they?
Who are they?
Are they, is that the Quedno and,
No. This is the group, it's
I
sponsored
don't
by
have any
Woodstock.
I don't have any paperwork from them, so before, I'll get in touch with them and let them know they gotta get some paperwork to us. It's
Okay,
HIDA, H-E-I-D-A, I don't know anything else other than that, what I'm reading here in the book, so.
it's the same person who's been doing it for the last 4 or 5 years. So do I have a second for that?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
February 6th, 3 to 8.
So there was one other resolution that, be it resolved to authorize the town clerk to post the attached bid. Did you get a bid from Mike Reynolds?
I did,
Okay.
so as long as it hasn't been changed, it's going in, it's in the paper for
Okay, be
Thursday.
it resolved to authorize the town clerk to post the attached bid invitation for work to replace the Yeri Hill Bridge in the official newspaper and also in such publications online or otherwise suggested by the engineer.
I have not heard from the engineer, so
Okay, well, he'll.
that's Bernier and Larios?
No, John Steinmeier.
John Steinmeier.
Do you have a second for that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So I don't know who else he wants it to go to, so.
I think if you just take care of that, and I'll talk to Kerry,
Okay.
or if you think about it in the morning, ask Kerry to post it both
On
on
the
the
list.
town website and on Facebook. And if you could ask her also to post mention of the town highway garage doing the tree trim. That would be good. Anybody else have any other questions?
Did you happen to mention to Mike about the signs on Maple Lane?
You left a message.
I haven't been by to see, so I don't know.
He probably only got it yesterday, or today,
Oh, okay.
so.
I'd like,
Make a,
if there's nobody else, I'd like an answer from Jay specifically to my comments about how he feels about the implementations of the new smaller drones in police surveillance activity over people's private property in the Hudson Valley as part of this drug situation that's going on with the police. And if he still feels the same way about pushing the resolution that Woodstock should be a drone-free zone.
Well, as far as I understand, Woodstock is a drone-free thing. One of the things that I would ask our chief is, under what circumstances, if any, does the sheriff's jurisdiction take over Woodstock's jurisdiction? I don't know. And that's something that I hadn't thought about before, certainly not before we knew that the sheriff was gung-ho to get
Is that just a
more drones. That's something I would like to know. And, you know, if, and what are the conditions of such, if such exists. And I think once I know that, then I'd be in a better position to respond to your very good request.
So you're going to check into that?
Yes,
Okay, very good.
yes, yes.
Is the urgent agreement available online or at the supervisor's office?
Is which agreement?
Urgent.
The town agreement with urgent.
Oh, I
Carrie
imagine
should-
it's
Carrie should have
online. It's-
I don't know if it's online, but Carrie should have a copy of that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that should be available.
And that's something we've, with the town of Woodstock, has belonged to every year since it started, except for, I think, one or two. There was some reason the chief was not 100% comfortable and he pulled out. Yes.
Okay,
Perfect.
thank you.
Takes
To
two
not,
send an email.
to not get too much into policy issues on this, I'd just like to point out that the states where marijuana and cannabis products have been legalized for personal use and not restricted the way they are with the so-called medicinal program in New York, are the two states that, interestingly enough, are not experiencing this surge of opioid abuse and heroin.
What two states are those?
Those are Washington State and Colorado.
It's interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah, you should check into the statistics on it, because New York is going gung-ho with this, with this drug interdiction and the police and enforcement orientation of this, which has never, in the history, ever since Nixon's original drug war, ever been effective, other than
Amen.
confiscating people's property and creating a big unconstitutional legal mess. And I don't think Woodstock is the sort of community to participate in this when there are signs that a lot of this is being imported and distributed, not only for the benefit of the big pharma companies, but also for the benefit of implementing further social and police controls and surveillance over society.
So Randy, you're saying that if marijuana is made legal, there'll be no more heroin?
No, I'm not saying that. That's an extreme exaggeration of what I'm saying.
Okay.
What I'm saying
I'm not
is,
sure
that it
that
would-
Colorado is drug-free.
I'm not saying that there
Yeah.
are, but I'm saying that they are not experiencing, because let's say you have an addict or someone who is looking to escape and being a junkie. The difference is, if you shoot too much heroin or take an overdose of any opioid, when you go to sleep under that, your breath is going to stop, and that's what kills so many people, is they fall asleep and they don't breathe when they're asleep. There are medicinal cannabis products, the black salve that sometimes Paul Gloria talks about, that are very potent, and if you have someone who's looking to escape the way a junkie is looking to escape, if they do something that's a potent cannabinoid, it'll put them to sleep.
Yeah.
They'll get what they want, but the difference is they won't die because they won't stop breathing.
You know, I
Yeah, I just like to-
did just recently see some research that indicated that making marijuana and the other drugs both illegal is sending a message to the younger people. Well, if I smoke a joint and it's illegal and it doesn't affect me, this can't be that bad. And that's part of the problem. David?
Well, first of all, without disputing Randy's statistics, which I know nothing about, I'm certainly agreeing with you that it's stupid to make marijuana illegal, and it sends a stupid message to the kids about, obviously, this illegality is stupid, so maybe the illegality of heroin is stupid, and it leads to experimentation. But the fact remains that I was in Colorado, and I know what the prices of marijuana are in Colorado. They're more or less equivalent to what the price of marijuana is in Woodstock. which is expensive. And with heroin at $5 a bag, it's not just about should I risk falling asleep and never breathing again. It's about how much money do I have in my pocket. And if I got $10 in my pocket and I can buy 2 bags and I can't get close to a joint for $10, that's a powerful incentive to people who become addicted. And you know, so it's a much bigger problem than just legalization of marijuana. And I'm not arguing in any way in favor of keeping it illegal, Randy, believe me.
No, me neither, but with marijuana, you're not hooked. With heroin, you do
Yeah.
it once or twice, you are hooked.
Oh,
So,
please.
you can't compare the two at all.
I know.
And what I'm
There's
talking,
no comparison.
But I think that's what these folks are saying, is by making them both illegal, it's almost like you're saying they're the same thing, and we all know. that's
and,
just
but
not-
also.
Oh, well, that argument's been around for 30-some, 40 years now, so yeah, I mean, and you're seeing it all around the country. It is becoming more and more legal for people to use it. It's not becoming that big of a deal. And I'm quite sure right now, and I'm just saying this out of my own thought, I do not think that they're gonna fly drones around to look for marijuana. I do not believe that at all. I think they're looking for a lot worse stuff than that.
A
Yeah,
couple years
with that,
ago,
I make a motion.
Department actually had the National Guard fly helicopter.
And just so that the nuance is not missed, I'm not
All in
talking about
favor?
marijuana.
Aye.
I'm not talking about marijuana, I'm talking about the medicinal substances that can be manufactured